Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Excuse me. Pardon me. I told you what my new thing is. Checking in with what Elon Musk is saying and doing every single day, because the man happens to be the richest man in the world and one of the smartest people in the world. And I think it's worth tracking him. You may have heard that he's not getting along with President Trump. They had a big fight, and that's not true. They're totally cool with each other. He talks to him all the time. I actually think the blow-up was a stunt so that they would stop burning down Tesla dealerships all over the place. And one of the reasons why I really admire Elon Musk is, well, the speech that he gave in Butler, Pennsylvania. This is the first appearance, in Butler after the assassination attempt. This is like September, October in 2024. And the way Elon Musk spoke about President Trump right there by President Trump's side was really something and made a big impact on me. Cut 18, if you don't mind. Cut 18.
What an honor it is to be here. And, the true test of someone's character is how they behave under fire. And we had one president who couldn't climb a flight of stairs, and another who was fist pumping after getting shot.
How about that, right? It's a great point. And then he went on to talk about the Constitution and what was at stake in the 2024 election. So, whatever was said on Twitter and whatever riff they had, this is what I remember from that time. Cut 19.
And free speech is the bedrock of democracy. And if people don't know what's going on, if they don't know the truth, how can you make an informed vote? You must have free speech in order to have democracy. That's why it's the First Amendment. And the Second Amendment is there to ensure that we have the First Amendment. President Trump must win to preserve the Constitution. He must win to preserve democracy in America.
That part. Donald Trump must win. And there was something, and Tucker Carlson, for all the things they're saying about Tucker now, when it really counted, they were there. And not everybody was willing to be counted, right? There was a lot of folks did not think that President Trump was coming back. And thank God he did. So what's on his mind now is, I always think is worthy of attention. And Heather McDonald, one more time, about, the real crisis, violence. It's not ICE. It's not Alex Preddy taunting ICE and then getting shot. That's not the thing. The thing is, in terms of violence in America, is black on black violence. Young black people killing young black people. It is real. It is horrific. And it goes on unchecked and unmentioned. Heather McDonald from the Manhattan Institute, cut 20.
You could get rid of all police shootings of civilians tomorrow, and it would have virtually no effect on the black death by homicide rate. Blacks between the ages of 10 and 25 die of gun homicide at 25 times the rate of whites in that age category. And they're not being killed by the cops. They're being killed by other blacks. And nobody wants to talk about it. We're supposed to believe that we're all racist. It's the media that's racist. They don't give a damn about black lives. They don't give a damn about the dozens of blacks who are killed by homicide every single day. That's more than all white and Hispanic homicide victims combined, even though, as we said, blacks are 13% of the population. Virtually none of those black homicide victims gets covered. We are not saying their names because they're killed by other blacks, and we don't want to talk about that.
Wow. It's true. Never, somehow it's not worthy of mention. You crazy? Keep going, Heather. Cut 21.
So the Ferguson effect says when you demonize the cops back off. And guess what happens? When the cops stop making stops, when they stop looking at hot spots where shootings have happened, and they back off, criminals get emboldened and more black lives are taken. That's what happened after the Ferguson riots, after the George Floyd race riots in 2020.
How about that? So Elon Musk, I think it's worth taking a look at. What he says is worth taking a look at. And there's one other thing. Hey, Hillary Clinton, some controversy around Hillary Clinton. Imagine that. She's testifying before the House Oversight Committee on what she knows about Jeffrey Epstein. And somebody takes a picture of her, and everybody goes ape, and they try to cancel the hearing. Somebody took a picture of her. It made its way to social media, and so they stopped everything and they left the room. I don't know if they came back, if they resumed. I don't think she knows all that much about Hillary, right? I don't think she does. About Epstein. And I actually don't think the Epstein thing goes as far as they say it does. He's in touch with all these people about the most basic crap in the world. What are you watching on TV? What movie do you want to go see? You know, you have the hots for Dr. So-and-so from Columbia, that kind of stuff. I keep reading these things. I want to see all that stuff about, I want to protect the kids. But the accusers, most of them are adults and were adults when they knew Jeffrey Epstein. It's crazy. It's mass hysteria, and mass hysteria is a real thing. All right. Are we going to pass that SAVE Act or what? Democrats think it's racist to find out whether or not you were born in the United States. I played that message the other day. I'm trying to visit my friend Bill Stevenson in jail. I can't get through. I can't get through. So there's a voicemail that's 20 minutes long. You listen to the whole thing. They give you all these instructions. Go to this website, download this, print this, send it to Mobile, Alabama. All these things you have to do. If you can do all those things, you probably could keep your loved one out of jail. It's just interesting. All these programs are so complicated. So the SAVE Act, they don't want it to be the law of the land, voter ID. And weirdo Senate Majority Leader John Thune, Thune. You know what his problem is? He's from South Dakota. That's not his problem. His problem is too handsome. Too handsome. His whole life, he's been the pretty boy. He's not that pretty anymore. He's getting up there. But I think, quite frankly, he's gotten by on his looks. And I don't think he's that smart when it comes to legislative stuff and getting things done. And he may be compromised. Why the hell wouldn't you move on the SAVE Act? You know what he's doing instead? He says there's not enough time to move on voter ID. But listen to how the Republicans in the Senate, and some Democrats too, how they screw around with their time. Did you know they had a dog show in the United States Senate? They had a dog show. They had a dog show, and they're all there. You got that little clip here? We're going to play it. All right, so this is the dog show. It's in the Senate office building, the Hart Senate office building. Dogs on parade. Go.
Dog yes. You have been hanging around the Senate button. Come on in.
There he is. Here comes the bulldog in a little wagon. Yay!
Oh, yeah, and the senator came too.
Here comes the poodle. And that's,
everybody knows Baby Dog's story, right?
These are U.S. senators. Okay, I know they have to have lives outside of politics, right? They have to have something going in their lives, the softball, whatever it is, cigar night. Sometimes we think that these people are not human beings. They are, and they have their strengths and limitations. At the same time, don't you think they're getting a little bit too cozy? I don't think I'm not a senator. I'm not a congressman. I don't think I've ever been to a dog show, let alone host one at work. I saw one on TV. I saw the Best in Show movie, and I saw the Kennel Club, Westminster Kennel Club, and we always see the champion hound take a lap around the little rink there. Ever notice that they have those leashes? They have these weird leashes and really doesn't look comfortable for the dog. I still don't understand how a dog competes against another dog. How does a German Shepherd compete against a Beagle? Best in Show, and they're all different dogs. What is it? The one dog that represents their breed most beautifully, most fully? I don't know. It's weird. It's very strange to me. So Hillary left. I think it's over now. It's over. How long was that? Not long at all. It was 3 hours long. Is that it? Hillary Clinton on the witness stand before the House Oversight Committee. As our friends over at the Maze Moore content abrogator, Hillary Clinton used to attack and shame the women who had accused Bill Clinton of sexual assault. That was years ago, and she denies ever having done it. You want to hear it? It's pretty interesting. All right, this is Hillary basically today, more or less. Go ahead.
What role, if any, did you play in criticizing the character of the women who have accused Bill of sexual misconduct?
None. If somebody's willing to pay you $130,000 or $170,000 to say something, and you get your 15 minutes of fame, and you get your picture on the front page of every newspaper, and you're some failed cabaret singer who doesn't even have much of a resume to fall back on, and what's there she's lied about. That's the daughter of Willie Horton, as far as I'm concerned.
What?
Whoa, did you hear that? She had a southern accent back then. Take it from the top. That's Hillary today, and then we'll stop it. Go ahead.
What role, if any, did you play in criticizing the character of the women who have accused Bill of sexual misconduct?
None.
Stop.
If somebody's willing to pay...
None. And then they cut, this must be her in 1991, 1992. She looks radically different. She sounds radically different. Totally different. And southern accent and all, and it sounds to me like she's assaulting the character of Bill Clinton's accusers. Go ahead.
If somebody's willing to pay you $130,000 or $170,000 to say something, and you get your 15 minutes of fame, and you get your picture on the front page of every newspaper, and you're some failed cabaret singer who doesn't even have much of a resume to fall back on, and what's there she's lied about. That's the daughter of Willie Horton, as far as I'm concerned.
Whoa. I guess the failed cabaret singer. Who's she talking about? Paula Jones or Jennifer Flowers? Both? What? I mean, I think it might be Jennifer Flowers. Jennifer. Wow. Or who knows? Hey, here's something. You hear about the great big military buildup in the Persian Gulf. It's not as big as they are wanting us to believe. There have been many times over the past 20 years we've had just as many ships over there. All right? Some of this is marketing, and some of this, I guess, is... what do you call it? Gamesmanship. We want to make the Iranians think that we mean business, and we do, but we have had plenty of times in the past where we've had more hardware over there in the Middle East than we do right now. What is it, Frank?
Just wanted to see if you're following some of Elon Musk's tweets. He released one back on February 2nd. They need to release the Epstein videos with the victims' images blurred out. He recorded everything. And he says,
"Yeah, no, he didn't." I mean, look, I don't believe that. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I believe President Trump is right. The Epstein thing is a hoax. It's a scam. It was set up to get President Trump, and instead, it's blowing up in the faces of Democrats. Democrats who weren't with kids, but were with Jeffrey Epstein, talking about gross stuff that adults are allowed to talk about. I mean, I am waiting. David, you seem to be on top of it. Tell me what is the shocking evidence of pedophilia that is in the Epstein files. What do you got?
Satanic ritual abuse.
Satanic. Well,
Satanic.
That's a great. That's okay. You said something. Tell me where in the files it shows satanic ritual abuse. What do you have? Because it ain't in there. I mean, I can answer. There's no. It's not in there.
At one of the questionings on live TV, they asked about pictures of deceased children.
So in one of the okay, that's not in the That's not in the files. If somebody asked a question about that, all right, that doesn't mean it's. I mean, someone asked a question about it. You're asking a question about it. It looks like he was a sleaze who got hand jobs, from 17-year-old girls in 2002, and it doesn't involve children. 17 is arguably a child. Depends upon where you live. Hey, you like Rob Lowe, right? Rob Lowe? You know, sure. Rob Lowe was hooking up with 16-year-old girls. You like any Elvis Presley music? You know, he was hooking up with 15-year-old girls. You like Jerry Seinfeld on reruns on Channel 11 twice a night? You know, he had a high school girlfriend when he was 39 years old. I mean, that's gross to me. It's kind of in line with the Epstein stuff. All of these women, have you noticed how old they are? More importantly, how old they were when they claimed that they were victimized. 22, 21, 23, 25. It goes on and on and on like that. So I am unmoved. I want to see the evidence. Show me some evidence. Show me something. But it's a great big scam that's been pulled on the American people, and President Trump has been right about this every step of the way. It ain't in there. And I'm going to give you one more chance. Where is the evidence of this thing that you speak of?
I'll have to get the page for you, Greg. I'm going to do my homework.
What do you mean you have to get the page? You have to get the page for me. Don't you think if I saw a page like that, I'd print it up, I'd post it on Twitter, I would, what the hell is going on here? It doesn't exist. I'm sorry because a lot of people love this story. They love the idea that they're saving kids. I would love to save kids in peril. But this is not that. This is all a freaking job to take out Trump. You can go back to the original reporter, Julie K. Brown, and Virginia Jaffrey, the ultimate scammer. Thank you, Frank. I'll be right back.
Greg Kelly
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Good, clean fun. Throwing all kinds of horrible things at the cops. Well, an arrest has been made. One of the men who pelted NYPD officers with balls of ice, not snowballs, has been arrested. And guess who's said to be really upset? Mayor Mamdani. He doesn't like this. Let's see here. The person in custody is a 27-year-old from West Africa by the name of Gusmain Coulibaly. 27 years old. Is that a kid at 27? I'm trying to think about what I was doing at 27. What year was that? 1999. I was flying my Harrier jet, actually. And I believe I was flying it off of aircraft carriers in the Pacific Ocean. That's just a kid, huh? Imagine that going to another country. I wonder if he's here legally. Coulibaly. But the funny thing is, the mayor is upset about this, reports are. He doesn't want this guy to be arrested. He's a full-grown adult, hassling and assaulting cops. And Mayor Mamdani thinks it's a kid who's having a snowball fight. Hillary Clinton continues her testimony at the Chappaqua Performing Arts Center. I wonder if she's acting. That's where they actually had it, at the Performing Arts Center.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, in just moments ago, he's no kid. He's a 27-year-old punk. Happens to be from West Africa. I wonder if he's here legally. An arrest made in the assault on cops. Not snowball fight, not playful snowball fight, but an assault, an ambush on cops. Go ahead.
NYPD making an arrest in Monday's snowball attack on police in Washington Square Park. The 27-year-old Gusmain Coulibaly is under arrest for his role in Monday's attack. That left 2 New York police officers injured. Coulibaly is no stranger to police. He was arrested just a few weeks ago for an attempted robbery in the transit system. You'll remember this is how Mayor Mamdani described Monday's incident.
I can just tell you from the video I saw, it looked like kids at a snowball fight.
The governor of New York was asked about Monday's attack and said this.
Our police officers put themselves in harm's way every single day.
Well, they sure do. You know, it's fascinating because people can really see what happened, and you look at the mayor's response, and we lose all confidence, not that we ever had, all confidence in somebody who can see something like that and call it kids in a snowball fight. It's not that. This is a real thing. This is a real moment, if you will. Although I go through these comments and I see that not everybody agrees with us. They hate cops, the left. Got to remember that. January 6th, they pretended to like cops, but they didn't, and they don't. Trump administration, the deposition has been halted. Deposition of Hillary Clinton halted after an unauthorized picture taken by Lauren Boebert. Stay up to date here. The interview, which will not be open to the public, was happening in Chappaqua, and that's just down the block from where the Clintons have a house. And I'm looking at the picture of Hillary Clinton in the middle of this thing. She's got a surprised look on her face. Kind of happens sometimes. And it was posted by Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson is really kind of, in some ways, has replaced Charlie Kirk as the number one influencer in the MAGA right. Good for him. So they called the whole thing off because a still picture was posted of Hillary Clinton. Hillary was the one insisting that this thing be carried live on television. Does anybody remember that? I remember that. Live on television. And now a still picture is posted, and they walk out and they want to call the whole thing off. That is, that's really something, isn't it? Hillary. Tomorrow, Bill Clinton. Now, the thing about Bill, we all know that he's a dog. We've known that for a long time. There's nothing in any of these pictures that suggests to me that he's with kids, with children. These are women. These are, and we've known this for how many years now? 30 years, that the guy is a hound dog. So I don't know what to do. And you know who's actually kind of friendly with him, believe it or not? It's Donald Trump. I know for a fact that they keep up a relationship, that they talk. They're in touch. And, he has friends in all kinds of places. You'd just be very surprised. And he said he did not want these files out because it would hurt innocent people. Now, no one's saying he's not innocent in terms of he's never done anything wrong, but he's innocent in terms of, well, he's never had sex with underage girls. All right? And, our friend Frank calls up, talks about satanic rituals with children. That's not in the Epstein files. It's just not there. I wonder why people wish it to be there. Why would you wish that? From my perspective, I'm glad it's not happening. I don't want that to happen to kids, do you? What is it, Dan? Hello.
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, really quick, I used to live right up the block from Washington Square Park, so I know that park pretty well, and the park has gone downhill considerably over the last number of years, and the thing that concerns me about the quote-unquote snowball fight is I really hope Commissioner Tisch stands up and does the right thing for these police officers. Otherwise, I think they're going to turn...
They're going to what?
FDNY did with Laura. They're going to turn their back on her like the FDNY did with Laura Kavanaugh.
Or like the NYPD did to Bill de Blasio and Commissioner Bill Bratton at the time. You may remember. This has been building for a long time. Democrat politicians mistreating cops. This is not the first time. So, this is put up or shut up time. She can't have it both ways, although she wants it both ways. She really does. I have no confidence in her whatsoever. We'll see. I would resign. You can't work for a guy like that. You see things totally differently. She says it's disgraceful. He says it's a snowball fight. So she better do the right thing. Thank you, pal. Stu, hello.
Hi, Greg. Greg, this whole thing with Epstein, I hear everyone looking at it, and they're missing the main event. Let me throw a name out at you, and I suggest you look it up. It's a clue. Jean-Luc Brunel.
He's the guy who he's the guy who owned the model agency in France, right?
How did he die? Do you know?
I think he was one of those autoerotic asphyxiation guys. You ever hear of that thing? Oh, boy, that's weird. What they do is they go into the closet to masturbate, and they tie their neck up to the pole, and somehow it's a more intense orgasm that way while you're choking yourself nearly to death. Mr. Kung Fu died that way. Mr. Kung Fu being David Carradine. I thought that's how he died. Is that how he died?
He died in a French prison the same way Jeffrey Epstein did.
Oh, my God. That's it. That's it. Massive child sex ring. Look, here's something about that. You know this, Stu. I want you to think about this. When you get tagged as a child molester, right, and you go to jail, there's a great big target on the back of your head. And these guys were identified publicly by the media as like the worst child sex offenders in the universe. You know what hardened criminals do to those guys? They kill them. So there may have been a conspiracy to kill these two dudes, Brunel. I still think he died in the closet doing that thing. But if he didn't, if he were killed in prison, and it looked like it's the same thing that happened to Epstein probably. The hardened criminals, they don't they respect murderers, gamblers, loan sharks, fraudsters, honorable crimes. But when it comes to kids, that's where they draw the line. So I think that's why Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. And I do think he was murdered. And the same goes for his friend, the modeling dude. That's how I feel, Stu. I know. People want to fall in love with this story that goes on forever. Have you ever considered that possibility, Stu?
No, I'm too busy writing. I don't know to waste time on it.
Well, you went down a little mini rabbit hole. You made that one correlation. And I'm telling you, that's the down and dirty. Everyone's overlooked it, quite frankly, including me until recently. Like, oh, yeah, that's right. Child molesters, the big bad guys in prison. Everybody hates child molesters, including criminal inhabitants of jail, prisoners. Thank you, pal. Let me see here. What is it, Tommy? Hello.
Greg.
Yeah.
If you ran for mayor, we wouldn't have this problem because you can beat that guy. You have the backing, you have the knowledge, you have military experience. Your father was the best guy around. You have to run and beat this lowlife. This guy is destroying our beautiful cities.
It's true. All those things are true. However, on the list of things you got to do and be to become the mayor, those rank around 19, 20, and 21. There are all kinds of other weirdo criteria to be mayor in this corrupt, crazy political system we got. So I don't know. I may take a look at it again. I toyed with it last time. But I don't know. He really does seem to be crashing and burning. I appreciate the encouragement, Tommy. Thank you very much. I do, actually. Robert in Queens. Yes, sir.
About the snowball fight. Would the cops voluntarily participate in a snowball fight, or they were attacked?
Well, did you see the video?
No.
Well, watch the video and call me back. Don't you have a TV set or a phone?
No, it made it sound like they just threw snowballs at the police. Maybe they started. I mean, there was the kids that started with the police, right?
Robert, come on. You got to get up to speed before you call the radio station. I can't give you the basics. I mean, I can give you the basics, but we did that yesterday. I mean, yes, these guys were ambushed. This was no kiddie snowball fight. This was an assault. It just random. The cops were sent to break up the huge riot that was occurring. People in the community called the cops. They were terrified of the 1,000 kids who were taking over the park. 1,000 kids, adults, crazy people. Robert, it's on your phone or on the TV. Check it out, all right? You'll see what I mean. You'll see what everybody means. Ernesto, hello.
Doing. I want to talk about Tucker Carlson's interview with what's his name, Huckabee. and it was chilling to see. I liked the interview, and I thought he really put him up against the wall. How he couldn't answer the BB.
Wait, who couldn't answer? I didn't watch the interview. All right, I got too many things to do. Who couldn't answer what? Huckabee or Tucker?
Tucker and Huckabee.
I know,
but, anyway,
but who was on the? Who do you think? I mean, look, I like them both. I hear about the stuff. I find it hard to believe that Tucker is an anti-Semite. I know. And I haven't seen proof. People tell me, and I don't know. Where do you come down on this whole thing?
Well, listen, I like Tucker. I think he's a patriot.
I loved Mike Huckabee too, and there's no greater friend to Israel than Mike Huckabee, the ambassador. Evangelical Christians love Israel. Now, I know Tucker's saying some wild things, but I haven't sat down to look at it. I guess one of these days I'm going to have to sit down and look at it. You know what I mean? Half of American media is everybody upset about what somebody said on the podcast. Somebody said something on a podcast. You know, what have you done lately? What are you doing? That's kind of what I want to know, more than that. All right. This guy's been on hold for a long time. David in New Jersey. Hello. The Russiagate one. Hi.
Hi, Semper Fi from Navy to the Leathernecks. Hurrah, God bless you. I was, when you were landing on carriers, and boy, must that have been stressful. I was serving over in South Korea and in Japan, and a 27-year-old, I can't wait to hear about that snowball with the communist media. But I was calling primarily because it has been now over a year since the persecutor of George Zimmerman has had the ability to make indictments, not trials, but just indictments. Pam Bondi, do your blanking job and get indictments. I have no illusions on trials. I have no illusions on convictions, but there is no excuse on Russiagate on top of everything that just came out yesterday. I don't know if you saw it about Patel and these 10 alleged individuals fired.
Wiretapped.
Well, does that mean then that we can eventually find out the names? I thought federal employees could not be fired without a federal judge issuing a declaration. Pam Bondi needs to go. She kept George Zimmerman in jail for a year until he was acquitted. Pam Bondi is not incompetent. President Trump, I am urging you, please fire Pam Bondi. Please, Mr. President.
David, I second that emotion. Good stuff. All right. I agree. I am sick of her, and you're not wrong about what she did to George Zimmerman. Thanks for calling. Experts say this flu season is the worst we've seen in 25 years. Either way, you know how this goes. Every year, someone in my family gets sick, then everyone gets sick, and suddenly you're fighting to see a doctor or stuck waiting in a crowded urgent care. But not this year. I'm ready. I ordered an emergency medical kit, and it's been a lifesaver. My kit is stocked with essential prescription medications, antibiotics like a generic Z-Pak to help you recover faster, amoxicillin for pneumonia, strep throat, and ear infections, plus prescriptions for nausea, UTIs, and they have some ivermectin in there. That's fantastic. It's simple. Match your symptoms in the guidebook or call the telemedicine doctor standing by. Start treatment early, feel better faster, no waiting rooms, no pharmacy lines. I love my medical emergency kit, and you should get one too. I got you $45 off when you use my code Greg. Just go to urgentcarekit.com/Greg. That's urgentcarekit.com/Greg. The promo code is Greg.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Well, it's been a long time, maybe too long, a hiatus for Barbara, but it's over. Barbara from Long Island is back, one of the wisest women we know. Barbara, how are you? And what's going on?
I'm well, Greg. Thank you. I'm off vacation now. So I'm busy writing religious freedom. I'm writing actually a manual for use in churches to teach religious freedom. But meanwhile, as I see what's going on, what happened at Mar-a-Lago with the intruder there, and then at the State of the Union speech the other night, the disrespect for President Trump and for his administration. It impelled me to write a prayer, which I put up on our website at asfor.org. It's a short prayer. Oh God, our Creator, we pray for President Donald J. Trump. We beseech you to bless, protect, and guide him, his family, and his administration to the good of our nation and the whole world. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen. I believe we all must pray each day for this, for President Trump, and for the success of his administration and the well-being of his family.
Well, that's very beautiful, Barbara. Very beautiful indeed. You think we're going to war?
Unfortunately, it certainly looks that way. It certainly looks that way to me. But meanwhile, I'm listening to your description of this snowball attack in New York City. And if I might say, I am so glad that you're showing it for what it really is, so that people know they can watch the video of what happened and believe their own eyes, that it was not a fun game. It was a vicious attempt to harm the police. And when I think about Mamdani in their place, if I picture him in the middle of a snowball fight, I wonder, would he stand in the snow and ice balls and think it was a fun fight? And then when his face needs to be stitched, would he shrug off the violence, the pain, and possible scar as no big deal? I don't think so. So I'm glad you're emphasizing this, because it is typical of the chaos and the disrespect that has developed in this country over the last 50 years. It started slowly. Now it's huge. It's in our face everywhere. The lack of respect and standards is in our families. It's in our churches. It's in our schools and universities. And it was deliberately planned by the communists. Gramsci was a big one to lead this, and Cloward and Piven added to it also. And now we are at a point of no return. We must go forward and reestablish our morals. We must reestablish our principles. That's the only way that people will have respect for each other again.
How do you think we go about doing that, though?
I think we do it through our churches. We do it through each individual by themselves, showing. I can show my children. I can show my grandchildren how respectful I am of them and how I expect them to respect me. I can show my neighbors that I respect them. I'm not going to be a loud, obnoxious neighbor. I'm not going to litter, for example. I'm not going to drive into my driveway in the neighborhood with a car that's so loud it wakes everyone up. I'm going to show respect, and I'm going to take my family with me to church. If they won't go, I'll go by myself. Eventually, one by one, they may decide to come with me. I think it's up to the individual, to each American, to restore that.
Well, Barbara, we thank you very, very much. You're an amazing woman, so wise, and we appreciate, and we'll be hearing from you more often, okay now?
Okay, sounds good to me. And if you look at that prayer on the website, I'm hoping that that will resonate with you. It's a short prayer. I deliberately made it short, but I wanted to pray not only for President Trump, but for his family and for his whole administration. I happen to, being from Long Island, know Lee Zeldin fairly well. I had invited him to speak at 3 different religious freedom events that we had. He was very gracious. He came and spoke, and we learned a lot from Lee Zeldin.
That's wonderful. What's that website?
It is asfor.org.
We love it. Thank you, Barbara. Say hi to the congressman. To be continued.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.